Cool, let's start continuing with actually doing the things we need to do to make the mask go over the videos and everything. So if you still have this one, go to your photo array, and right now in yours you probably have a background color that's some sort of orange or something. Just delete that because we don't really need it anymore. We still want the grid area because we still want to be able to move things around with this. We're going to add a little bit more to footer here, so we can actually we'll actually wait with that so I can show you what that actually means. In our HTML we created our SVG, and we need to add some things to this. So in our CSS, just create your SVG. We're going to add a width with a on it, and we're going to add a height 100% as well, and we're going to use the position absolute because we have more than one objects on top of each other. We have both our videos and then we have our mask on top of this. So we need to use absolute positions to put them on top of each other in the easiest way. We're also going to give it a font size, and I think the default size right now is like 12 on the page, but that's way too little. So we're going to give it a huge of about 120. Font weight, so it's bold. Font dash weight. And give it a bold, or if you want the number value, that's 900, like this. And that's the first part of this. We also want to kind of use the SVG text we created in there, so we just hit it like this, kind of like exactly the same you would if you had an anchor inside a list item and so on. In here we're going to do text anchor, and here we're going to assign it middle, so it's going to push it into the middle, of course. And next part we want is the mask, so SVG mask and the rect in there, the rectangle. This one we actually want to, this is the white color, so let's go to this one. So we want to assign this color here, that's the overlay, or whatever we call the mask. We want to assign a color to this, so let's put in a fill and an RGBA, so red, green, blue, and the A is short, it says start there at the alpha channel. So that's basically the opacity, so 255, 255, 255, which equals white, and then the opacity here. Remember to use a dot between here and not a comma, or else it'll break. Like this. And then we're going to do the SVG, which is a child of rect, and only that, so not the mask part of it. And in here we're going to use fill, white. We're going to use the web kit mask to make sure, mask, like this. And then we're going to type in the URL. So if you recall from the previous one we created with our the image, we did something similar here. We used this URL, but instead of doing it in CSS, we did it in the index here. So we had a polygon down here where we had a mask, and we actually, not a mask, we had a URL where we link to whatever should be inside this. We're doing the same as we were in here. So we are linking to the mask, which is the ID in here. Where does the mask go? Where is the mask? There we are. So the ID here is being filled. So that's how it works together. It's kind of a bit confusing to go from the start, but that's something we of course have to learn more the more we use. That's that part, and the last part we need to look in is the actual video. So how we actually move them around. So video, we need to have position absolute again, absolute, and we need to have a top assigned, so 0%. We need to have a left assigned. So this is kind of like, feels like we're doing redundant work, but it's needed for everything to work. Min height 100%, width 100%. If you don't believe me, which you should of course because I'm awesome, you can try moving and changing these values here to see what actually happens if you do. We're also going to give it a set, if I can hit it right, set indexes, so it knows where its position is, and I'm going to give it -1, and I'm going to give it a overflow of hidden, so the video that's outside the actual box is going to be just not shown. It will be there, but it's not going to see. So save and go test, but we're not done, but I'm going to show you what this actually does to the, oops, that's the wrong one. So up here, Now you can see we have some things of our stuff here, but it's kind of looking weird. That's because in our footer we need to assign a little bit more to make it work. We need to assign position relative here, and the reason why we do this is because we're doing position absolute right now, and you can see the actual video starts way up here, all the way up here, and it goes all the way down here, but we only want it to be inside the footer box. Because there's no position relative on this box down here, its next relative object for this video is the body part. The reason why I said position relative is because now 0, 0, which is top up here and left, it will be 0, 0 here once I actually click save on this part. So let's click save, go to this, and now it's inside, but now we have this weird thing. Part of the video inside and part of it outside. It looks okay, it looks cool kind of, but in this case we actually want it to be inside. So we can easily fix this by just typing over without the capital, overflow, hidden, like so, and going back to my browser, and now you can see that we actually put this inside, and that's really cool, and we can start just changing the text in our HTML if we want to add more. So hello Yoda, and hit save, and then it goes here, and then we made a quick change without having to do a lot of things in Photoshop or whatever. And the reason why I also wanted to do all these percentage all over the map is because all over this part here is because in our CSS, because we were using our grid template here. If I were to change this part here, so footer, 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 clicking save, the video now goes from all the way over here to all the way over here. It's kind of hard to see with this, but you can see there's a change, but we can just change the opacity to actually see, so it's easier for us to spot. Opacity here, so let's go down to 5. But now you can see the video goes all the way over here. So by using this grid, we can suddenly change. We can suddenly change the outcome and the design of the page with all these SVG objects and everything. So it's really, really fast to start making changes. That's it for the videos about this. And the next and last video is just a short recap of what I just did.